Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got a good one for you today. So much to cover in the economy. Plus, it's Thanksgiving week, and it's crazy. The absolute numbers of people that are traveling right now is staggering. And before I get into it, please take a second. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I am on the island right now, Balboa, just taking a look at all the shops and everything hanging out. But think about this, guys. 45 million people, 45 million are going to drive someplace for Thanksgiving. That is unbelievable when you think about that. You're going to have 4.5 million people hop on an airplane, and you're going to have 1.4 million people use rail, boat, telepathy, Star Trek stuff, whatever, the rest of it. Okay? Hyperlink. Okay? Whatever. So the rest of those people are going to do that. Of all these people, the one thing that's crazy is that here in the States, the Midwest is starting to get incredibly cold right now. You're seeing weather absolutely take a turn for the worse right now. And you're going to see inches of snow. We saw the Buffalo story, last weekend about how they couldn't have a football game because of the snow. And now you're going to see the Midwest and New Orleans even potentially have snow, and it's going to be incredibly cold. So just going to take a walk down here. But, so much is happening right now as we end the year. People need to get themselves ready for, 2023. And what I highly recommend people do this time of the year, right around Thanksgiving, is when I always sit down with my family and friends and say, get your finances in order now. Guys, we've still had just really low tide here, which you really don't see very often. So I always tell everybody to get themselves ready this time of the year and not wait till the bitter end. Have a tax appointment, talk to a professional about that, get your bills in order, get your taxes in order. Pay taxes now in 2022 so that you're not going to get hit with penalties for next year, because I know a lot of people that wait, delay, my penalties, I'll just wait. Okay. You cannot ignore the real estate numbers. And one thing that is absolutely fascinating is there's a company called CoreLogic, and they keep records of everything. We had the worst October that we've had since 1988, 35 years. And it goes on records as being in the top 10 slowest sales months ever. And for the 9th month in a row, sales are dropping here in Southern California. And not everybody's got money, guys. More people are hitting the HELOCs, more people are hitting the lines of credit than ever before. That's just happening right now. And think about this. A year ago, mortgages were at 3%, hovering at 3% is what they said, and now they're hovering at 7%. The difference of a year. And that is the killer dealer that's doing everything right now. That is the thing that is the icing on the cake that's finishing the mortgage stew off and ready to be served this holiday season. So if you guys don't see that, you guys don't want to admit that, this is going to affect absolutely everything, though. It's going to affect construction. It's going to affect new construction, because the building departments are off with the number of building permits. You're seeing the home builders. I got the kick out of this in CNBC today. They were talking to the home builders how they're anticipating that 2024 is going to be a good year. Okay, let's get ready for a year and a half from now. So that's what everybody's getting ready for, is 2024. So it will fall to the floor before 2024. You will see a lot of people lose their properties. You will see tremendous deals. You will see just a ton of people that won't be able to afford to keep their properties. Now, here's the thing I get a kick out of is this community. This is an island. This is Balboa Island that I'm standing on right now. This is a tremendous amount of legacy properties. And What I mean by that is these families have owned these properties for decades. Grandma's grandmother owned this place, and now she owns it, and now the kids are going to own it. Only problem is that as these houses transfer ownership, there's a problem. There's a problem maintaining these places. There's a problem with, not everybody can sit there and remodel and do something like this. You'll see a lot of this old stuff out here. And the stuff that's on the water is much nicer than the stuff in. There's little tiny 1,000-square-foot bungalows here that go for $4 million. It's lunacy. But I don't know, there's a FedEx truck blocking the view, but the island's not that wide enough. A lot of streets, gem streets too, a lot of sapphire names and things like that, diamond and opal and things like that. But the kids now inherit these houses and can't afford the taxes, can't afford to keep it, and they have to sell it. And the problem with that is that the peak is done. The absolute ceiling for these houses that shot up through 2021, it's over with. You're starting to see this thing taper off, and you're starting to see these houses sell for a lot less than they have been in the past. Do they stay on the market longer? Yes, everything is staying on the market longer right now. You're seeing the price reductions, and the average house right now in Southern California is $705,000. It's a ton of money. It's $824,000 here, but again, who can afford this? Got to make 200 grand to afford the average house here, and not everybody can do that. Oh, this dog hanging out here swimming. See if I can get a better shot of that. Real estate's going to affect everything. Everything's going to slow down as a result of this. Business, construction, the layoffs, everything. You're seeing all these tech layoffs that are happening right now in Silicon Valley. And, there's a Google office here in Orange County, in Irvine. Yeah. A dog. This is cool. I'm on the island, and this place has a public dock, and the public dock has got the different timestamps here on how long you can park your boat. 3 hours on this one, 20 minutes on this one, 20 minutes over here, 3 hours on this side, and 24 hours over here. Very cool. Now, here's the thing to tell you how bad the economy is. I was in Tustin, California, and was going to the post office, and a lot of people waiting in line, and I thought, oh, that's that daycare center that's over there, and there's people going to pick their kids up. No, it was people waiting around the block at the food bank, and I was utterly shocked. And I didn't film it for their privacy and for their, I'm sure they don't want their picture taken doing that, but it is sad that this is growing. Young people, old people, every age, every ethnicity, everybody having a difficult time, but getting food. And by the size of the line, and by the people that were there, and by the stacks of boxes they had, not everybody's getting a meal. So this is the worst thing. The politicians out there should be utterly ashamed of themselves right now, because there are people right now that are going to go hungry. And everything's great, and you can argue about whatever you want to argue about, but this is criminal that there are people that are going hungry in this world. Fran Glover came all the way from Florida to our party, and I gave her some money. Some donations were raised from the room, which was fantastic. But if you ever want to give somebody money, it's Fran Glover's charity, Joseph Dreamhouse, and I'll leave the link below. But here's another problem with this, is that people just don't think about this. There is a story below from Wichita, Kansas. There's a thing called Meals on Wheels. And, my girlfriend's very sick right now, by the way, guys. Have her in your prayers. Her cancer is spread. She is not doing well, okay? And I'll talk about that later. But your thoughts and prayers for this Thanksgiving for Lisa right now. But there's been times that when Lisa's parents were alive, it was like, what can I do to help them out to supplement them, to have other people come in, because, she and I were the caregivers for her parents. And I would work a lot from her parents' house. Lisa installed internet so I could go over there, things like that. But there's just days we couldn't do it. So Lisa found out, hey, there's Meals on Wheels. And on this day and on this day, they can deliver a meal for my parents, microwavable stuff and milk and juice and things like that. It was a big deal. And they looked forward to this. I think it was Tuesdays and Thursdays we got it set up to do, and it was great. Well, that program is finished in Wichita, Kansas. Ran out of money. So these seniors are not going to get meals, and that is tragic, guys. These are people that desperately need it, but the sign of the economy right now is that this money is drying up in all these different social programs, and people forget about this stuff because they're dealing with their own problems right now. Now, Carvana, the car company, that thing, I hated that thing. I tried to buy a car there, and it was an utter nightmare, and I won't bore you guys with the details of it, but they have been riddled with problems right now, and they just fired another 8% of their employees right now. That place is done, guys. I really do not see that Carvana is going to make it through this. This is the sign of the times with these guys, and think about this. I'll show you guys this area out here. That's all cool. Now that the tide's so low, you got all the boat launches and all the ropes that hold the boats like that. It's really cool, but really low today. I've seen the water all the way up to here. I've shown you guys that before. But Carvana, you would have people that would drive a car for 3 or 4 months, maybe get into a car accident, try to deal with the insurance company. Oh, you don't own this car. You don't have a title to it. And Carvana was notorious for that happening. Accident records that they didn't let people know about, and just problems all the way around. And here's the thing, when there's smoke with a big company like that, and you start to see things like this, but it's just not the Wichita, Kansas location, it's around the country. That's how the company is ran, guys, by the seat of their pants. That's what happened. Now, I'll give you guys a perfect example, and this came from June of this year. The Los Angeles County Fairgrounds is a huge, vast fairgrounds, and when the health crisis hit, they couldn't have the county fair, which was always a big deal. So they looked at different ways to get revenue. One idea was, hey, let's have a homeless encampment here. And that got voted down because nobody wants it in their neighborhood. They want it in your neighborhood, not mine, yours. Remember that. So what Carvana did was Carvana pitched them and said, we want to have a car vending machine here. Isn't this the coolest thing ever? Look at how great it'll be. And they went to the city of Pomona, California, and told them that they were going to do car storage. Okay, you guys can do car storage at the fairgrounds. Yeah, no big deal. They did not pull one building permit for that car vending machine, not one. So they built that entire glass structure like you've seen driving down the freeway and the cars loaded on it, the lights hitting it. They built one of those. Think of all the water, think of all the electricity, think of all the structural engineering, everything that was done. The environmental impact report, because we're in California and you've got to make sure that the tsetse fly and the locusts are going to be safe, okay? None of that stuff was done, not one thing. And they just built the structure because they're Carvana. And look, you guys got jobs. Isn't this great? No, it sucks. You guys are a den of idiots, okay? But that's how they run the company. My question is, how many more of those things were built without a permit like that? Oh, this was just an oversight. You don't have an oversight of construction. Think about tapping into the power to that building. Okay? Nobody inspected that. Nobody inspected the plumbing. Nobody inspected the footings that structure stood on. Not one person. So that's Carvana. That's who you're buying your car from. And again, if you have a Carvana car and you have a AAA account, Automobile Club, the cool thing about Automobile Club, you can check registration. Hey, do I have any tickets on my registration when I renew my car? You can check all that stuff. But you can make sure that the title is solid and in your name with that, because your insurance company, don't call them. You told me that you own this car, so we're going to insure you for the car that you said you owned. Oh, you don't own the car. We're not going to pay the claim. Remember that. So a little due diligence, 15 minutes out of your busy life could save you, tens of thousands of dollars of a nightmare, or even more. So I'm always amazed, people that go out and buy, lease the Ferraris and lease the Lamborghinis and these $500,000 cars and don't realize that they could have potentially you know, $7,000 registration bill, things like that. And they're broke now. Remember we talked about legacy properties? Look at these old things right here. Okay. Beautiful. I mean, I'd love to have that because that's your backyard, is that right there. And then next door is this little tiny house. 503. Millions, guys. Absolutely millions. Because you live there. And on 4th of July, you can have a party here. And you can rent it out for $5,000 a week. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. It's just crazy. We're seeing people that don't have the money to get through this time right now, and it's only going to get escalated. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this. What is the status of the economy right now? What I mean by that is, are we in a recession right now? Is it worse? Alhambra Partners, great article below. Yes, we are. No, we're not. Maybe we are. What do you think? Basically, these are investment advisors, and there's a great article about that because it's insane. Now, Peter Schiff, who I've told you guys I really have a lot of respect for, and I think he's fantastic, steps forward and says, we're in a stealth recession. Nobody wants to admit that things are as bad as they are, and that we're upside down, and that we're behind. So we're in a stealth recession. Okay, nut, okay? Your wife is cheating on you. Maybe she's not. Maybe she is. Who knows? Okay? So maybe it's a stealth affair, okay? Anyways, my point is that you can't have it kind of bad, maybe someday. Let me explain it a different way. More people are using their credit cards than ever before. The numbers, this is not yesterday's story. This is a new story. This came out today. The numbers were released. More people are using their credit cards than ever. Car payments are going through the roof. This Carvana thing, this is going to be the killer for the car industry. You're going to see CarMax have problems, AutoNation, all these places that are going to start to admit that they cannot sell cars like they used to. And during the health crisis, any degenerate with a stimulus check would walk into those places and say, just get me into a car. Really? Okay, yeah. Just how low can you get the payment? Just get the payment. Just, well, I want to put this down and I want the car. And I talked to a salesman that told me that's what they sold every day. It was great. Oh, we sold so many cars, you know? And those are the places that have the sticker price in the car. You don't negotiate, but you can finagle the financing and the shenanigans and your auto repair warranty and all that stuff. That's all the mess. But we're supposed to believe, guys, things are good right now. People have money and real estate's good and it's not going to back up. This is a disaster, guys. This is impending doom right now. And it's just beautiful to be out here when it's like this because it's just so peaceful and so nice. And they got all these nice houses out here. But that's what's happening. Tesco is a huge store chain in the UK. They have resorted to security tags on regular food items, but not regular security tags, clothing security tags. The kinds that have locks, the kinds that have keys for, 16 ounces of cheese, guys. So people are doing this and people are stealing cheese, people are stealing butter, people are stealing ground beef. And they have a yellow tag sale. And one thing that they had to do was with the yellow tag items is that people would grab them because those are the best value, larger portions, lower prices, but they would steal them in the store right from the employees. They would grab them. So they had to put the security tags on those too. Read the story below. This is how bad things have gotten. So the railroad strike is going to happen. When that happens, there's not going to be food in the grocery stores. You're not going to have commerce conducted because people will not have things delivered by rail that none of us even think about at night, and these people just do it. The average rail worker, $127,000 a year. Nice job if you can get it, but they're not happy. So, but I'm loyal to them right now. This one I think they should resolve right now because we don't need another supply chain debacle right now like we've had in the past. So Retail crime, here it's a mess. Stores closed because of crime, and it's happening around the country. But people are hungry, people are desperate, people are not getting the social programs that we've talked about. I've mentioned this for you guys in the past. If you guys know of anybody that needs any of that stuff, a great place to start is 211.org and findhelp.org. They've got, community action centers is what they're called, and they will pay your electric bill. They will pay your cell phone bill. They will help you out. Do not think you're just going to show up there, hey, can I get a check? No, it doesn't work that way. To fill some stuff out and answer some questions. But if you do that, you will be in incredibly good shape because they will help you pay these bills. And I know a lot of people that I've referred to these places in the past. So again, be kind to people because you have no idea how difficult their life is right now. And you may hate your job. You may hate where you live, car you drive. There's people that are a lot worse off than you are right now. Please understand that. Be kind to everybody right now. It's all you can do, because this, you can call it anything you want. This is going to be like 1929. And again, when you look at history and you look at 26, 27, 28, before 29, before that crash, and how bad it got and how bad it got after that, that's what people need to understand. They keep thinking that, nobody wants to look at a history book and say, hey, can this thing really get really that bad? Is this damn guy nuts? All I do is get ready for this now. And every time I think, okay, I got enough silver, I got enough gold, I got enough cash, I got enough everything, I don't have anything. I'm not ready. Okay? You have to get ready for this. So let me know what you guys are thinking about all this stuff. It's just really weird. The tide at the end of the day gets super low this time of the year. So just nice to see this. Are there things that you buy that you say, oh, I couldn't imagine switching brands or trying something different because you just had so much success with it, and every time you do, you end up regretting it? Well, for me, that's the HP laptop. I love my HP laptop. It's like my iPhone. It's just so good, and the consistency of it, and people are like, why don't you switch to Mac? No way, man, it's great. But HP just announced that they're having huge problems, sales problems, and that they're trimming their workforce by 12%. 4,000 to 6,000 people between now and 2025 are going to be cut back because they see the computer industry as lessening and taking a turn, and the economy hurting. So, sign of the times, guys. It's just shape of things to come when it comes to all this stuff. Now, how is it when you buy a car? Imagine you buy a car, but you don't own it completely. It's never really yours. Mercedes just announced a new feature that if you want to go fast, it's going to cost you $1,200 a year with a subscription, $100 a month, to have the car super accelerate for the electric model. That is insane, guys. That is an F no. No. Tesla has ludicrous mode that makes the car go super fast, and that costs a one-time fee of $10,000, which again, I mean, when you say no to this stuff? Because we're going to have subscriptions on everything, guys. It's going to be a subscription-based life for everything that we purchase right now, and that's too much. It's just too much. BMW did this with their heated seats, and it's a mess, guys. It's just they're gonna do this on everything, and you're never gonna own the car completely. It's one thing to have satellite radio and go, oh yeah, $20 a month, and I get to listen to all this nonsense. That's worth it. But to have it, your car acceleration tied to this, the heated seats tied to it, certain steering things. I mean, it's nuts, guys. It's absolutely nuts. So has anybody bought these cars and paid for the subscription? That I want to know about, because again, people argue, hey, you think you own your house? Wait till you don't pay your property taxes. Exactly. They'll take your house. They'll sell your house. Sell it to their cousin for $5 more than you owe. Yes, that's what they'll do. It's horrible. But the car industry, you should be able to own a car and not have to worry about this. We've seen these hydrogen cars that came out. What a mess. Totally expensive. Can't find hydrogen. That's a disaster. What do you guys think about this stuff when it comes to these subscriptions. I think it's a laughable joke. I'm going to end this video with these last few stories. And the first one was there was a rumor that got leaked through a press release that Mark Zuckerberg was stepping down as Facebook CEO, and the stock shot up because he's an interesting cat and a lot of people are tired of working with him. But that wasn't the case. So Mark's still in town. The next thing is the FTX bankruptcy. Wow, they had their first hearing today. How about this? The CEO of the company steps forward and says, hey, listen, there are not a million creditors, there are millions of creditors out there. Millions of creditors. Plus, Sam Bankman-Fried bought $300 million worth of real estate with your money, okay? So he didn't make that money, guys. He just used client money for this. This is crazy. And he used it for his personal fiefdom. Did you know the word was fiefdom? Okay, I'm clearly the victim of a public education. I thought it was thiefdom, but it's fiefdom, F-E-I-F-D-O-M, fiefdom, personal fiefdom, okay? So public education and good looks, that's all I've got, guys. So you're going to see that they have millions of creditors. This is an absolute disaster, and there's no way they're going to get to the bottom of this. So share your thoughts and all that stuff. Final story, and I mean it this time. The dog threw me off. Did you guys see the movie Avatar? Okay, I didn't care for it much at all. I hated it. But Avatar 2 is coming out now. Think about this. It's so expensive to make, so expensive, that for it to break even, not make money, it would have to be the 4th or 5th highest grossing movie of all time. Of all time. Do you guys have any desire to see that? I mean, the last one, the original one, is the highest grossing movie in theaters ever, $2.9 billion. There are only 5 movies that have grossed $2 billion. It would have to be in that range, guys, to break even. That's how much money James Cameron spent on this movie. Avatar 2, The Weight of Water, or, it's water ski. I don't know, what, something with water, but Avatar 2. Do you have any desire to see that movie? Seriously. I don't at all, but I'm going to make a huge prediction here, and that is no one is going to the theaters right now, guys. That's why Disney has a problem. That's why, the idea of streaming everything, it sucks. And people are sick of paying, $19 here, $12 here, $6 here. It just adds up. And where do you draw the line with all this stuff? The dog is back, by the way. See that? The dog is totally following me. Okay? So please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys very soon. Onward and upward. And be kind to everybody right now.